Hey, it's your boy, the Vaughn and Only. Finally, we have arrived to Raw Books Inside. A look into some of the biggest, well, maybe not the biggest, but earliest books in my collection, and some childhood finds as well that I've put into Mylar. Not very big books, but I've had them since I was a kid, so they're in Mylar because they're sentimental to me and they aren't going anywhere. For those of you guys that don't know, I used to run and supervise a comic book store about 11 years ago, from 2010 to 2012 in Georgia, and really just exploded my knowledge base and love for comic books. As a kid, my dad was super into McFarlane sports figures, and even had the other, like Mattel. I can't remember the company that used to make sports figures before then, but they looked like G.I. Joe figures from the 80s. And then McFarlane came out of nowhere in the late 90s and just changed the game for toys in general. So I spent a lot of time in comic book stores, and my dad would buy me books because he knew that I absolutely loved reading. So I've had a few ones over the years as a kid, but it was never, nothing more than what the average person might know about their superheroes. Fast forward to 2010, running this shop and working 9 hours a day, just gathering a wealth, a plethora of knowledge about comic books. And here we are today in 2021, surpassing almost 150K of a collection and counting. It's not the greatest. I know some other people out there are definitely able to get so many more grails than I do. And we all have different interests and tastes. So I wanted to do this Raw Book Inside look into some of the books that I'm moving into Mylar, some more of the minor keys that I have, and stuff that speak volumes to me. Now, this pile that I have here, when I first closed up shop, was in one of those like file cabinet cases, where people file their paperwork. I didn't really think about getting too many boxes to put more of the rare books inside. Now I feel like I shouldn't be keeping these comics in this file container any longer. So we're gonna eventually move them into actual boxes and get rid of the file container. But I just looked at them. I think it's kind of interesting, a look back at what I thought needed to be in there and changes in the market over the last 10, 11 years. Now, of course, some of these books have been moved into here because of signatures or picking them up at conventions, but let's go ahead and dive into what we have here in this pile here. So first up, we have a Conan the Barbarian issue 23. This is the first appearance, supposedly the cameo appearance of Red Sonja. So that was right there on top. Let's see, let me make sure I do this correctly. Okay, so we're gonna put it down just like that. And that book actually needs to be flattened out a little bit. Here we go, from a book that I picked up out of, can't remember exactly, I think it was the first shop that I worked in, Comic World, before we moved over to the other shop. This is the first appearance of Black Panther in Jungle Action. This is issue number 5. Of course, we gotta be a little careful here because the Mylar, we know how Mylar is when it comes to lighting. Oh, there it is right there. Pretty clean copy. I would say about a 7.75. Could be better, honestly. Actually, with a press, this could even be a lot higher. The color looks absolutely phenomenal in that book. What else do we have here? Oh, this is issue Batman 334. No significance in this one except that it's my curse number, 334. There's a whole lore behind that with the Twitch community. So it was in there because it's a 334 book. Any book that ever hit issue 334, I want to own them all. This is a variant edition of Wanted, which you guys have seen the movie with James McAvoy and Angelina Jolie. This, the variant edition there. I think it was in here at one point because it was more than $20. I'm not sure where it is now, but I think it's plummeted because nobody's really paying attention to it. We got a couple issues here of X23. So this is issue number 3. This is the Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda 2010 run, who they're working on Monstrous right now. So there's issue number 2 and issue number 1. I want to give a quick plug to my boy Beauty Comics. I'm gonna throw his YouTube channel in the description down below. Who it kind of inspired me to do this, because this guy's always doing these haul videos and top 50 books in his collection, or top certain heroes in his collection, sort of thing. So shout out to Beauty. You know, you were reaching out to the YouTube comic community for other people to showcase some more books in their collection. So I definitely appreciate that, and it makes me really want to dive in and do more raw book inside videos for you guys. All right, so this one's interesting. Fear itself was a big deal back in the day, as one of the first big events that happened for Marvel, because you know Marvel had Secret Invasion, Civil War, Siege. They were kind of on a roll, and then Fear itself came out, was supposed to be this big thing, and then it was like, okay, now it's a little too much with these big tie-in events. But this book used to be like $120 book, because it's a comics, Comics Pro edition of it that only retailers were getting. So, and now it's like maybe $10-15 at best. And I don't know who did the cover for this, but we're also getting another variant there of the first issue of Fear itself. All right, next up we have, okay, this is Batman Beyond Unlimited. This book is in here strictly because, as you can see right here, this is Dustin Nguyen's signature. Got to talk to Dustin Nguyen at Dragon Con in 2011. Brought along some books for him to sign. And he laughed at this one because he totally forgot that he did the art for it. But American Vampire, Lords of Nightmare. And there's a signature right there in silver. Yeah, there's a better view of it. Likes doing them on the side like that. And then the last one that he signed for me in this file case here, Batman Giant Size 2010. Beautiful cover. Love it. It's absolutely why I wanted to give it to him. This one I'm not going to open up, but Joe Benitez was also at Dragon Con 2011, and the Aspen booth were doing these like grab packs of Lady Mechanica. So you got issue 1, 2, and 3 in here. They're all signed at the bottom by Joe Benitez. There's issue number 3. Issue 2 and 3 are the first print, and I believe issue 1 and 0 in here are second or third prints. Maybe I'll confirm and open it up later for you guys. Moving along, one of my favorite anime series, Vampire Hunter D, came out with the issue 1, Message from Mars, but they never followed up with it. It was supposed to be like a 5-issue series, and this was like the only one that they made. I think this is my earliest issue of Thor that I have. Issue 140, The Growing Man. So that's why it's in here. No significance to it, but it was nice to have that one. Age of X Alpha, the variant edition. Thought that was going to be a big deal, and really wasn't. All right, we have a Saga number 1. This is the only raw copy I have left. I actually, in my CGC video, the only CGC video I have, I sent in 2 sagas. One came back as a 9.2, the other one came back as a 9.4. Kind of disappointed in that because I thought each and every one of these were pretty clean. This one's pretty clean too. There's a little bit of a crease right here with books just laying on top of it from just being in long boxes. So a nice press will clean that out, and that's a 9.8 candidate all day. No significance again with a lot of these Daredevils, but Daredevil was my main man growing up, and I have a lot of the Frank Miller run, so these are just sitting in here and put into Mylar. Some of them are big books just based on the cover or what's going on as well. As you can tell, 183 is a book that has a little bit of a premium. And we have 140 there. So how did we do the Mylar earlier? Was it like this? Yeah, it looks better that way, right? And 164. Classic cover there. Another classic cover, issue 182. Bullseye appearance here in 141. I believe this is like his second or third appearance. Quote me if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. Then we got an early one, 97, Daredevil and the Black Widow. Issue 173. Oh, hi Becky, I forgot to turn you off there. We have 170. This is the first appearance of Kingpin in the Daredevil run. Kingpin was originally just a Spider-Man villain. Issue 180. These are great covers, by the way. I would say a lot of these are fine or better. Probably more in the fine range. I don't think any of them command near mint. This one definitely doesn't. I'd say this is about a 5.5 at best here for issue 169. There with Bullseye on the cover. Issue 130. Yeah, Daredevil's probably my favorite hero. Issue 110. 167. So if anyone has some early Daredevils, I would love to fill out. This is one of the books I absolutely want to have a complete run of. Issue 176. I am missing the Death of Elektra. I know that's a big book. And her first appearance. No, excuse me. I have the Death of Elektra signed by Frank Miller. I don't have her first appearance. 166. 150. Daredevil and Black Widow 98. So again, these are just in here, no significance. You know, at the time before when my collection was super tiny, you know, these were probably the better books in there. So that's why they kind of stayed inside this file container. A giant size Daredevil #1. This one's in pretty good condition. I mean, the giant sizes back in the day were a big deal. Definitely a big deal. Probably one of my earlier earliest Fantastic Four cover I had was 172. No significance with this book. I don't believe so. These ones are really cool right here. We have Miss Marvel #1 when it was still Carol Danvers, signed by Jimmy Palmiotti. Then we have My Comic Shop certificate of authenticity on that. They say it's a 9.2. I don't think it's a 9.2 anymore by the amount of times it's traveled, I'll say. But we also have the variant Michael Turner cover, so very happy to have this. And I also have the black and white as well. I think it's sitting in another box. Not sure exactly where. Emerald City Comic Con 3D variant of Sandman Overture. Got this at a convention here in Hawaii. Just thought it was really neat. Lenticular. Oh. Big Turtle book here. This is Ninja Turtles #1, cover D. Michelangelo. What's great about this is that it is signed by Kevin Eastman. Let's see if you guys can see it. Here it is. So he always puts that turtle on there, which is awesome. So, big book. Of course, I think it's always the case. The Raphael one is the one that commands the most price. We have the cover B, issue #2. This is who drew this one? I can't remember who the artist was on that one. Unless it was Waltz, I'm not sure. So So that's issue 2. That's it for Turtles there. Big book right now, Infinity Gauntlet #1. Everyone wants this for some reason. Just MCU speculators, right? It's pretty beat up copy of it, not gonna lie. But that was one of my books that I had as a kid, so of course it'd be beat up. Descender #1. Guess it got put in here because I got optioned not too long ago. Well, almost a year ago now, and we've really had no word on what's going on with it. Some Ultimate Thor variants here. The J. Scott Campbell variant, I think at the time was pretty pricey, and then it dropped. And then we also have the Cho variant. Invincible Iron Man 500 variant, the sketch cover. One of the better variants I had back in the day. Not so much now. We have Walking Dead issue 100. This is the Chrome. Again, I think some of the other covers definitely command more of a price, but in 2012 when that came out, the Chrome one was the one that you wanted. Some more books that I had as a kid here. Omega the Unknown, issue 1. I remember as a kid I was like, it's an issue 1, this is great, I have an issue 1 of something, and it's Omega, right? But that book means a lot to me. Same with this one right here, which I got on the same day. Outlaw Kid, issue 24. That was really fun to have a lot of those Wild West cowboy comics as a kid. Some more. This is King Size Annual here. Incredible Hulk, issue #8, 1979. Again, another book I had as a kid. Giant Size Hulk from 1975. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have these books. They're not too hard to find, but these giant sizes are always pretty great. This is a great copy of Giant Size Doctor Strange #1. Good condition there. We have Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, issue #6. Early Morbius, yeah. So cool to see him on the cover there. Again, we're definitely in the territory of what the few books that I had as a kid. Spider-Woman issue 38. Cameo from the X-Men there. Some Avengers books now. 147. See, look at that, like super long fold right there for a 147. I always wanted the Avengers books with Vision there. So as a kid, I thought that was the coolest. I don't know, something about the yellow and green always got to me. So issue 149. A little better condition there. 146. And to be honest, I think these are like the earliest issues of Avengers. Well, actually, this one's the earliest one I have. Now, the next two books that I'm going to show you guys is an interesting story because I made the mistake of putting these in the shop where, sunlight would hit it. So these two books have gotten a decent amount of fade on the cover, which is so unfortunate. And then this book itself has like two really bad cracks on the cover. But it is the first appearance. It is a key. So this is Avengers 83, featuring the first appearance of Valkyrie. From now on, it's the Valkyrie and her Lady Liberators. So I don't know if you guys can no, I probably can't. But there's two lines right here that break pretty badly. I don't know. It's like weird little bends. I don't know how that happened, but you can definitely tell that it's super faded, which is unfortunate because it takes away a lot of the grade. And then this one, which is spiking, there's a movie coming out in a few months. I think you guys already can tell what it is when I say Marvel Special Edition, Special Marvel 15, first appearance of Shang-Chi. But look at how faded it is. Oh man, what a key. Man, but you know, the book is a little beat up. I don't know if you guys can see the see if we can get a little closer there. So you can already see spine ticks. Yeah. And then there's like a little bit of a fold. It is dirty, of course. Pretty old. See at the top there. Right in the middle. Little indents. But yeah, a lot of that color is gone. Still a nice book to have, and it's not going anywhere. And then Conan 22 is at the bottom here to sit next to that Conan 23. Not really sure why this is in here, but out of the new 52, this is probably one of the number ones that you want to have. Suicide Squad number 1. I thought it was signed or something, but I guess it's just sitting in here because it's Suicide Squad. Then we have some Greg Capullo signatures on some Batman New 52. So we have Capullo signature there in the red, right in the middle. Issue number 4. Then we have issue number 1 with his signature in gold there. You can see. So that's pretty cool. Glad to have it. Really happy to meet Capullo, one of my heroes growing up. Again, with Spawn, I just knew so much about him just because we were always going after McFarlane figures. And then the last one here that he signed was Death of the Family 13. Right on Joker's face there. So pretty cool. Glad to have those. These are in here because it's a seminal Batman story, of course. Year 1, part 1 there, Batman. Frank Miller goodness. And issue 2. Issue 3. And issue 4. And because I think when I got them, this was also with it. I don't have the other ones, but I do have Death in the Family, book 404. So that was after Jason Todd met his end there. So I think as a kid, I was like Death in the Family, you know, Batman Year 1. I don't know why, but I always linked those together. Some early Wolverine here. We have issue 3. And then issue 2. Of course, issue 1, I got 9.2 graded in my first CGC video, if you guys want to check it out. X Factor issue 5, cameo appearance of Apocalypse. This is 9.8 candidate after a press. Same with this one. I want to believe, I think it just needs to be clean. Well, no, I think it's just near mint. I think it's about a 9.2. New Mutants number 1. You know, people, for some reason right now, I've been selling books and a lot of people are asking for New Mutants. So I don't know what the significance is of that. Another, no, this is about an 8.0. Web of Spider-Man, issue number 1. Again, just books I had as a kid. But they kept in pretty good condition from when I got them, because a lot of the ones I got were already in that condition when I got them, save for Valkyrie and Shang-Chi. That was a mistake on my part, and you know, I can never get that back. And you know, all these other defects that you can get out of a book, you can't get that out of a book. This is actually a really clean copy after a press to lay it down, because I think it got like tagged with some water or something a little bit, so it's super wavy, but maybe it can be cleaned up. I think it's off-white pages though. But we have Secret Wars issue number 8. We all know what this is. First black suit. Get that light out of there. Happy to have that in the collection. Then this is funny. This is down here. Green Hornet issue number 4. This is the RRP edition. At the time that I got this Retailer Award premium cover, it was like a $150 book. Now it's like $5. So I think it was just in here because I was like, oh, like, look at this variant that I have. That's super pricey. You know, we have a Carnage number 1 variant here right at the bottom Always was a fan of this cover. Hard to find book too. And last but not least, one of the first comic books I had, and this one saw some wear because I never put it. I didn't like DC when I was a kid, so I never kind of took care of it. I think this is like at the bottom of my toy box. We have Superboy 131, Silver Age goodness. Just absolutely beat the crap. Actually, I probably have worse books than this. Like there's a lot of spine damage, but the coloring still looks pretty good. You can barely read the 12 set in the July number 131. I don't know if that's was like that back in the day or any significance, but hey, Silver Age book, right? And that's it, guys. Hey, first episode, raw books inside. A dive into the collection. I got a couple more boxes I want to go through and show you guys what I have and the early stages of this collection. You know, it's kind of cool to go back into boxes like this, into containers like this, to see where you kind of started. And we've come a long way. There's a long way to go still. So many books on my wish list, some grails that I want to achieve. I need to come up with a grail list for 2021 and 2022. I feel like I won't be able to really fully start until I get back stateside away from Hawaii. But until then, it's going to be a lot of fun continuing to collect, and cons are going to be coming back. So don't forget about that. It's going to be great. With the advent of social media, Instagram auctions, Facebook Marketplace auctions, YouTube, content creators, you guys are killing it. We see you, we appreciate you, and it's always a fun time hunting and collecting comic books. So thanks for tuning in. You guys, please go check out Beauty Comics in the description down below. And if you want to talk comics day in and day out, join the Discord. Link is provided down below. And we'll see you in the next one. I can't wait to do another Raw Books Inside. So take care, guys. Remember to always bag and board 'em.